Hi guys, welcome to a new video for D&L Bonsais. So today, lovely sunny day. Definitely spring is here. Depending on, even no matter what calendar you look at, spring is here. So I've been out here doing a little bit of work on a few of my trees today. But I thought I'd share this one with you because I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do with it yet. Probably going to go for some kind of a cascade, but I'll show you. Let's have a look. So this is what I'm thinking of. This is obviously a larch, European larch. I got this last year from the Heathrow show. Pretty good price. Well, very good price actually. I can't remember what I paid, but I know it was a good price. Obviously it's a root over rock, but it's very loose. I mean, I'll probably say it's a root standing over rock rather than a root over rock. But because of the length of the roots and the angle, I think it sort of probably leans itself to a cascade or a semi-cascade. But obviously I don't know what the roots are like underneath and whether I'll be able to do it with the position and everything. So join me while I work out what I'm going to do with it. Right, so as you can see, it's got a lot of roots on it, which is good. The rock turned out to be 3 pieces of rock and a big bit down there, so it wasn't one rock, which is fine. I don't have to use all of it. I could end up using those bits for something else. Don't even have to do it over rock. But what I am happy about is because these roots are so long, in my mind I'm thinking it can overhang a pot there, and the roots are more than long enough. I could probably put a rock there and have the roots going down behind the rock. Hopefully you can see what I'm trying to say. But trial and error. In my head it works brilliantly, but in real life we will find out. I'm not going to clean these roots completely because they're pretty good. I do want to trim them a bit, but until I know how much length I need, I'm not going to trim anything. And I've also got to work out what pot I'm going to use. So, join me in a minute. Okay guys, so this is the pot that I'm thinking. So it's not massively deep, but it's definitely deep enough, I think, for what I want to do. So again, bear with me and enjoy the journey while I try and see what I'm going to do. Right guys, so what you probably saw from that video, it's probably not going to be a cascade actually, because it's not going to be lower than the pot, or a semi-cascade. But I do like the idea of the rock overhanging the pot and the tree sort of resting on the rock and following the shape of the rock. But in order to do that, I am going to take off a couple of these extra branches that aren't really doing anything. Now ideally I need to get rid of this one, and yes, there is quite a lot of root on that, but there's a hell of a lot of root left, and I think, given the fact this isn't a massive tree, that it will be absolutely fine. What with the time of the year as well. I mean, I've had trees root from much smaller roots than that. So I'm going to bite the bullet. Get rid of the whole issue. And that now also gives me an easier curve to follow on the rock. Let's do this outside of the pot. Do I want it like that? Do I want it like that? I want it to sit as flush to the rock as possible. And obviously, in order to do that, it's going to have to be obviously secured to the rock, which is fine. Just want to, there we go. I found a natural. It just sits in there nicely there. Whether that will work or not for what I want to do, I don't know. Let's have a look. Right, so the rock is there. Yes, I think that looks quite good. Let's get on with it. Let's get some soil. Now, I'm using my own bonsai mix here. I came up with a recipe this year, and I will do a video on the recipe once I'm 100% happy with my results. So far, I'm getting excellent results, both with drainage and with the trees seeming to enjoy it. But time will tell. I need to put enough soil in there, obviously to give the rock a bit of height, but also to give the roots somewhere to plant themselves. Obviously I'll be adding more soil, but I've got to try and find that bit now. I think it was there. Or was it? Oh. Actually, see, that fits quite well, but so does... Where was it? This is the problem, then you don't mark it out. But I want those to... Got to also remember that I want those to be as flush. To be as flush as possible. I think that's going to probably be the best bet, like that. Right, let me just get something to tie that down. Just putting this to secure it for the minute. If you're wondering, this is some tape that I got from online, and it's just a bit softer and easier on the branches. I don't have to worry about it cutting in. I don't really like wiring when I don't have to, but that will still hold it in place until such time that I need to take it off. There we go. Now, I'm going to put the roots also around the sides. There's plenty of room for it to grow. Just trying to feel, yeah, right, what that needs is another little bit of rock, just to help prop it up. There we go. There we go. You get the idea now. Plenty of room for the roots. Plenty of growing room. And if you look at the before picture, I'm sure you'll agree it looks a lot better. Right, let's get some soil. Now, for the eagle-eyed amongst you, you've probably noticed that I haven't wired it into the pot. Now, anyone that knows me, especially like my members and stuff, because I've been asked this many times, oh, you don't use wirely. Now, I do. I will wire a tree into a pot, or trees, if it needs it, but only if I think it needs it. The only reason I would wire it in is if it was top heavy, for example, or the pot was really, really shallow, and there was a risk of it falling over and things like that. When the tree is deep enough and the pot is snug enough, or there's enough weight, I do not wire the tree in. Some people will disagree. Some people will understand what I'm saying. Obviously, I don't really care. I'll take a leaf out of Peter Chan's book and say that if it works for me, it works for me. If it works for you, it works for you. And so far, in the 3 years I've been doing bonsai, it works for me. I've not had any problems. And as I said, it works for me. I'm not going to tell you that it won't ever go wrong. But if you are sensible and judge it correctly, you know, you shouldn't have to on trees that you don't have to. I mainly just do it because, one, it can be a bit of a ball ache depending on what the tree is, and two, it can damage the tree and leave horrible marks and put extra stress on the roots, which you don't always want to do. But as I said, this tree is got the rock to hold it in, obviously, and the tree's attached to the rock by a fabric, which again isn't going to mark the trunk. So there's really not much chance of this falling out unless it falls off a shelf or something. So for those of you that are wondering, I'm using a metal chopstick here to tamper down, the soil to ensure that it gets into all the spaces. You don't want any big air pockets in there. Obviously you want a few little air pockets, natural air pockets, but you don't want great big gaps where there's no soil, because the roots could die. And this is the best way to do it. Obviously add some down the front. Not need too much. But just enough to all ground cover. I think almost there. Now, this tree has already got wire on it as well. I didn't wire it, it came like that. For those of you wondering how well this soil drains, I will show you in a short second, because I will be watering it before I do any wiring or checking any wiring. Okay, let's get some water and tidy this top up. Okay, so that's the table cleaned off, and I'm now going to water the tree with that's got my soil in it. Don't know if you can see that, it's going down very quickly, which is good. I want to not saturate it, but I want to give it a very good watering. Make sure it gets all the way down the bottom. And I believe it's already coming out. I'll hold this up. Yep, it's starting to come out. I'll put a bit more in there. Don't know if you can see that. Dripping away. And it's dry on top. So, as I said, that mix is working very well at the moment. I've made it so it shouldn't clog, shouldn't turn into like a lump. But as I said, I will update you guys on that in a couple of months or something, and do a video on it to show you what I use. Right, so now I'm going to take off this wire. Now, I didn't put this wire on, and I think some of it has started cutting in. Now, this is one of my maples. I'd be a bit upset, but to be fair, I find that on these larches it gives it a bit of character. But anyway, let's get on with it. Always remember, when you're taking wire off a small or fragile branch, to hold the branch, because when you pull the wire, if you don't, you're going to end up twisting the branch or snapping the branch. Yes, this can still happen, but if you're holding the branch still, it shouldn't, because it's the wire that's twisting and not the branch, if that makes sense. Like that. Just take care that you don't damage something you don't want to damage. And we've all done that. We've all been styling a tree or wiring a tree or whatever, and we've accidentally either broken something off we didn't want to break off, or we've cut something we didn't want to cut. And we say those magic words, which I won't say on camera. But it's all a learning curve. So this is the wire that I thought was going to be the worst, and it has cut in, but again, not terribly, and I think it adds a bit of character to it. It's one of the only trees that you can sort of get away with it. Yeah, you can hardly really notice it unless you know what you're looking for. One of my friends, Jason from Bonsai Garden, I'm sure you know of Jason, and if not, check his channel out. He, I think he did a video a little while ago on a larch. I can't remember the title of the video, but it was a twisted larch, you know, like a corkscrew sort of design. And he showed where the wire digs in, but it also adds so much character, almost looks like a big caterpillar almost. And again, on this kind of tree, for some reason, it just seems to work. Whenever I see bark like this or trees like this, I always think of like Hansel and Gretel and things like that, you know, where the spooky forests and things and the trees are coming to get you. I know that another one of my online friends, Mark from Shocker Bonsai, I'm pretty sure he's got quite a few little larches in at the moment on his website. Very unusual little trees from Mark. Get some real gems. And his larches are not too badly priced either. I think the cheapest one I've seen on there was about 50 quid. And it goes up to obviously a couple of hundred, but that's obviously, you know, you get what you pay for. But if you just want a little larch to sort of like have something different, maybe try a different style, have a look on Shocker Bonsai. And no, they're not paying me to mention them, but I believe in mentioning people that I think deserve to be mentioned. Right, nearly there. Right, I think that is all of the wire. And again, I don't know if you can make it out on camera or if it's going to focus, but there's a bit of scarring here and here. That's the worst of it, but even that's not too bad. So now I'm just going to quickly look around the tree, see if there's anything I want to cut off, and also see what the front is. I mean, I'm thinking that's the front for obvious reasons. Let me know in the comments if you don't believe that's the front, but I mean, to be fair, I think that can be the only logical front. I mean, that might be a front, but I like this side because it's got a natural dip, so you can see more of the tree. There's more depth. Right, let's cut off what I need to cut off, and then we can let you go back to your lives, because I think I've bored you enough with this video. It's definitely gone on longer than I thought it would, but we want to deliver videos from start to finish that people can watch and get some ideas from. Right, okay, I'm going to pause there just quickly because I'm going to get another couple of my larches to put side by side so you can see some of the different styles I've tried. Okay, see you in a bit. Right, okay, so here's 3 of my little larches. So this is a semi-cascade. It's a semi-cascade because it doesn't go lower than the pot. If it went below the level of the pot, it'd be a full cascade, but because it goes over the pot but not as long as that, it's a semi-cascade. Now this little one came from the aforementioned Shocker Bonsai. Obviously I've done a little bit of work to it since I got it from him, but not much. And as you can see, it's a very unusual little tree. This is another larch I've got, which is obviously a different style. This is more your sort of upright broom style. One of my favourites, this is. And I've been blessed this year. Last year I had 1 female bud. Oh, let me zoom in, sorry. Oh, come on, zoom in. There we go. I had 1 female bud. But this year I've been blessed with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This tree's got 5 on it. And they are beautiful. And for any of you that don't know, these are the pollinators. These are the ones that spread the seed, and then they turn into these little pine cones. So my tree is obviously happy for it to produce 5 of those. And I'm happy that it's happy. Sorry about the focus, guys. And of course there's the one that I've just done for you. Oh, let's move this out of the way carefully. And there's the one I've just done for you. Give you a 360. So 3 gorgeous European larches done in 3 gorgeous different ways. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Please do like and subscribe, and there will be more videos shortly. Thank you very much. Goodbye.